Stereotypes often misrepresent Africa as a continent plagued by endless conflicts and instability. For many people, the African continent beckons dreams of uncharted exploration, rugged natural landscapes, and untouched ecosystems and cultures waiting to be explored. Unfortunately, due to high poverty levels and crime rates present in many of its countries, Africa as a whole has garnered a reputation for being a dangerous place to visit. Morocco differs from most other African countries in terms of its stable political environment, developed financial markets, and infrastructure. While there are surely some dangerous places to avoid on the continent, many African countries are among the safest places on Earth to visit, promising plenty of security for travelers and tourists who seek to explore their untouched natural heavens. In this video, we shall be taking a look at the top 10 safest countries to visit in Africa 2025. 10. Morocco. Nestled along the northwestern part of the African continent, Morocco is the 10th safest country to visit in Africa, and has become a popular tourist destination thanks to its cultural markets, desert treks, and exotic communities. While crime rates are relatively low, Morocco is infamous for its petty crimes, including various scam artists and pickpockets. The popular tourist hubs of Fez, Marrakesh, and Asora tend to provide higher safety levels, as these local economies are highly dependent on the tourism industry. However, extra caution should be practicing when visiting more remote regions, such as the Atlas Mountains. 9. Tanzania. Tanzania is considered one of the most politically stable, safest, and most fascinating countries in Africa. The republic has shown steady economic growth for 2 decades, driven by international trade, foreign investment, and tourism. The government emphasizes tourism, recognizing the country's obvious advantages over other African destinations. Tanzania is known for its vast wildlife and rich cultural heritage. With serious intentions to develop its tourism sector, the government invests significant resources into safety. While Tanzania is well regarded for its friendliness and safety, the country still has room to improve in terms of human development. 8. Zambia. Landlocked in the heart of southern Africa, Zambia has enjoyed political stability since gaining independence from Britain in 1964. Zambia is the 8th safest country in Africa. Over the last decade, it has demonstrated high economic growth relative to many African countries, which is always directly reflected in domestic security levels. Zambia is an excellent choice for those seeking a safe and secure African adventure. Boasting relatively low crime rates, the country promises a generally safe and secure setting for exploring its numerous natural attractions like Victoria Falls, Kafue National Park, and the Lower Zambezi National Park. However, while most of the country's top attractions are relatively crime-free, there are some regions to either avoid or practice a higher degree of caution. These include border areas like Congo, Angola, and Mozambique due to risk of landmines. Another area to practice caution is in the capital city of Lusaka, where rape and muggings are common. Beyond these problem areas, the majority of the country's crimes are minor offenses and include petty theft, pickpocketing, and bag snatching. These tend to concentrate around tourist areas, transportation hubs, and city centers. 7. Namibia. Hugging the Atlantic coast next to Botswana, Namibia is another one of Africa's safest countries and is known for its warm and welcoming locals that make it one of the best destinations for solo trips and female travelers. Boasting the lowest population density of any African country, Namibia promises vast open spaces, beautifully rugged landscapes, and expansive areas to escape urban sprawl and enjoy your own slice of paradise. With all this said, there are a few safety risks that tourists visiting the country should be aware of. Firstly, despite being one of the safest places to visit, Namibia does have a relatively high crime rate. However, these are largely focused around large urban areas, such as the Namibian capital of Windhoek. Both muggings and pickpockets are common in these city settings. 6. The Gambia. With a global peace index of 1.89, the Gambia is the 8th safest country in Africa. However, the country has been a long-standing safe haven for visitors, promising security levels rivaling those of other destinations featured in this list. The only reason that the Gambia is not featured higher on this list is because high poverty levels and reported corruption have resulted in an increase in crime rates in recent years. However, the majority of crimes in the country are minor, with violent crimes being much rarer. 5. Senegal. Senegal is another destination that promises plenty of security for enjoying the cultural havens and breathtaking beaches of West Africa's coastlines. But while Senegal is considered safe for tourists, it isn't without its problem areas, most notably in the Casamance region of southwestern Senegal, where armed separatist groups are known to occasionally attack and rob. Still, despite these areas of high risk, violent crimes, acts of terrorism, and other forms of violence rarely affect tourists. Instead, the most common security risks affecting foreigners are petty crimes, such as theft and scams. 4. Ghana. Ghana has a long-standing reputation as one of the safest countries in Africa. Ghana is known for having an independent judicial system, multi-party democracy, and freedom of speech, including a free press. Despite the country experiencing a steady increase in crime in recent years, the country's crime rate is still relatively low when compared to nearby nations like Nigeria. The majority of Ghana's crimes tend to be in areas around its borders. The most common security risks to visitors in these tourist areas include petty theft, scams, and pickpockets, although violent crimes and assaults can occur. With all this said, as long as proper precautions are taken, Ghana tends to be a safe country to visit and is even considered the 51st safest country in the world, according to the Global Peace Index. 3. Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone, a country situated in West Africa, is ranked the third safest country in Africa. Sierra Leone is known for its friendly locals and welcoming atmosphere. However, this doesn't stop the country from having a high crime rate, and visitors should practice caution when traveling to the country. These mostly consist of petty crimes, including pickpockets, bag snatching, and crimes. Muggings are also known to occur and can occasionally involve weapons. Violent crimes such as assault and robbery are also prevalent in the country but don't tend to target tourists and tend to be concentrated around Freetown, which is the country's capital. 2. Botswana. With a global peace index of 1.76, this natural paradise is the second safest country in Africa and the safest overall on the continental mainland. Traveling in Botswana is pretty safe since it's got a stable government and a well-grounded tourism industry. Although the country is regarded as one of the safest on the continent, it does have its problematic areas, most notably around Gaborone Dam and Kagale Hill. That being said, criminal activity involving tourists is rare, with the most common crimes being pickpocketing and theft. However, violent crime, break-ins, and carjackings can occur. With crime levels being low, the biggest threat to travelers' safety in Botswana is the risk of wildlife attacks and waterborne diseases. Mauritius. A small island isolated in the Indian Ocean off of Africa's eastern coast, Mauritius is an idyllic island haven boasting a relaxing, carefree atmosphere for enjoying its breathtaking white sand beaches, natural landscapes, and aquatic ecosystems. What's even better is that the island promises a safe and secure setting for enjoying everything the destination has to offer. With a global peace index of 1.55, Mauritius is the safest country in Africa to visit and is 23rd safest country in the world. The country boasts a low crime rate compared to other neighboring countries, with violent crimes being especially rare. The most common forms of crime are petty in nature and include pickpocketing and scams. Still, these tend to be concentrated around major tourist hubs and can be avoided by practicing a degree of caution. So, there you have it, viewers. The top 10 safest countries in Africa 2025. Make sure to press the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications, so you don't miss any of our future uploads regarding the interesting continent of Africa. Thanks for watching this one, catch you all in the next.